The oil and gas transition is an important journey towards net zero here in the region, with substantial renewable resources and a drive to innovate the energy sector, and has the opportunity to take action to address the global climate crisis and drive climate action. To tell us some more, let's speak now to Ali Houjeij, who is a partner at BCG. Great to see you, Ali. Thanks for being with us. So what strategies then are oil and gas companies undertaking to implement the net zero emissions by the year 2050?
Thank you for having me. I would like to start by talking about why this is significant. So direct emissions from the oil and gas industry represent around 10% of global emissions, or 5 gigaton of CO2 equivalent. Indirect emissions, or the usage of oil and gas, represent a further 35% of the global emissions. Now, already around 50% of the industry is covered by net zero targets by 2050 or before, as you just mentioned. And they're applying many strategies to get there. I'd like to focus on a few. One is methane abatement. Methane is a very potent greenhouse gas. It's 30 times more potent than CO2, and it already represents 40% of the direct emissions of the industry. So it's quite significant. And this is, however, the good part about this is it's a low-hanging fruit. Abating methane can be done today with existing technologies at low or zero cost. The second thing is shifting to renewables and electrifications. Oil and gas companies are shifting a lot of their onshore and offshore activities to be powered by renewable sources such as solar, wind, hydro, nuclear, and others. Third, carbon capture, installing carbon capture on facilities to capture, utilize, and store the carbon. And then finally, becoming much more transparent. Oil and gas companies are becoming transparent in reporting their emission baseline and the progress they're making on their climate goals.
What about the role of integration? What role does that have to play?
Well, on renewables specifically, let's take that as an example. We know what we need to do. We need to triple renewable energy capacity from 3.3 terawatt today into 11 terawatt by 2030. Now, in order to get there, oil and gas can play a role. As I just mentioned, the industry needs renewables in order to decarbonize and reach its targets. As a matter of fact, around 900 gigawatts of renewable capacity. And this is why we see a lot of collaboration between oil and gas industry and renewable players to get the renewables required to power their operation.
Okay, let's talk about the impact of COP28. Interesting that it took place obviously here in the UAE. What effect is that having so far on net zero efforts?
Well, without a doubt, COP28 left a long-lasting legacy. On the first day, it operationalized a loss and damage fund after 30 years of negotiations, and even put $700 million in it. And on the last day, it united the world through the UAE consensus, where countries agreed to transition away from fossil fuels, triple renewable energy, and double energy efficiency. Now, 3 ways where we see this, a lot of impact on the region. One is awareness. Customers, consumers, corporations are much more aware today about the impact climate change is having on their lives, but also on their businesses. And this is impacting consumer decisions and also investment decisions in the boardroom. Second is from commitments to action. So in the lead up to COP28, many small and medium and large enterprises in the region made climate commitments. And now they're delivering on these commitments and goals through actions, projects, and investments.
Brilliant. Well, it's a very interesting report you've got up there online at the moment from BCG. Thank you very much for joining us. Ali Houjeij, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.